So, hi everyone. Just woke up late today, but I wanted to make this video because I think it's important. I'm talking about what I want to do. I've made so many videos about this, about my path and what to do and how I'm not reaching there, or how I feel like I'm a little bit diverted, or it's vague, or what not like that. Some stuff similar to that. So I just think it would be super cool if one day I was to look at this same very video and be in a position where I can be like, wow, from this video to where I am now, I am where I wanted to be. So as I'm saying this right now, one day in the future I want to play this video and have it in real time. I don't know if that makes sense, but just to capture this moment and know that I've made this video with an intention in mind to watch this again in the future, because I think that things can happen, incredible things. I just think it would be just really amazing, because you see all these people that do believe in themselves and they tell their stories about how they had a goal in mind and they've worked hard to achieve it. And I think if we were to get an insight into their heads when they were thinking that at that time, like I'm doing it right now, and what I'm saying in a video that can be shown later, just proves that what people do say out there about law of attraction, belief, positivity is true. I was also thinking that manifestations are there for you and for all to be discovered. Right now I feel awesome, and I think that's partly due to me going out and about, exploring things. Mind you, I am on my uni break, which resumes in I think in a week's time. So I'll be in a routine again, and I'm wanting once again to open up possibilities, and me going back to my routine would be the most ideal. Now, for this video, I'm just thinking, so I don't actually have anything in mind. I didn't prep this. I'm just speaking as it is, so I have no idea what I'm going to talk about. Maybe a vague idea, but we'll see how it goes, where my mind lets me. So give me a moment. Okay, yeah, I had been thinking about this, and I think it's quite cool. Okay, so I was thinking that each person and each person's life is their own, and that's obvious, right? But I'm thinking in a way that how my world is different to someone else's world. I don't know that people are in reality as I see as reality, if that makes sense. So all this that I'm talking about might not actually have any connection to anyone, but this is what I feel. I feel that we are given experiences, we make experiences, we choose experiences, and people around you shape your experiences. But then again, I feel like other people are in your life, if that makes sense, more than you are in their life. The way I'm starting to view it is, whoever you are, it is your world. It's no one's world except yours. You are experiencing things as a byproduct of something. And what it basically means is, in my head, it's not crazy talk, but I just think that people around me, yeah, they're people, but they're there to influence who you are as a person. So as I'm talking to you about this, and I'm influencing you in a bad way, good way, or however you look at it, or not influencing you at all, at least there is some attention given to this. Even if you're not interested, you are spending your time, and time is valuable. But essentially, everyone else is a guest in your life, and you're the host. So all the people that you look up to and those that you love, they're there for you, but you are the one in power. So I'm a big believer in spirituality more than religion per se. Religion, I think, in a way is good and bad. Good in the way that it unites people together. Bad in the way religion sometimes is a root of conflict. Whereas spirituality, for me, so is basically having a connection to a higher energy and power than yourself. Something that you believe in, some belief that you have. And I don't think it's tied by someone telling you what God is or what God stands for, who he or she is. And I think that's the beauty of it, because you can make your own informed decision of who you want to believe in, what you want to believe in. And I just think with us coming into this world, or with me coming into this world as an innocent being and being influenced by others, you kind of have the tendency to be swayed into one direction or the other. And I don't want to be swayed. I want to make my own decision about what I believe in. And I know I'm going off a little bit of a tangent from what I was talking about and saying how people are, how it is your world. So I'll just connect this for you. So I said I believed in spirituality. I also believed in yourself being the host to your world and others being a guest. That connection is basically, you have to do everything in your power to be a good person. Now, define good as whatever you like, but for me, I know what I stand for. I know what is good, right or wrong. But I'm not saying what my views on right or wrong is right, if you know what I mean, but what my belief is. And I might be biased, so I think you need to follow with that. If you don't, that's when you're not true to yourself. So when I'm talking about you, most of the time I'm talking about me, because I think human behavior is linked, and we all have feelings of joy, happiness, sadness, love, all that. So I'm sure some things that I'm talking about now will have some connection, some links, some common things with you. It is being a good person. So you being prejudiced against others, or me being prejudiced against others, me holding a stereotype, or holding a negative view of someone else, is not a reflection of society. It's not a reflection of anyone else. It is 101% a reflection of me. And I just think everything that I think, do, is a reflection of me, if that makes sense. Everyone else is what I perceive them to be. I cannot control one other soul other than myself. Control in the sense, everyone has their own mind. They can choose to react the way they do. Whether they disobey, obey, I don't think that's a form of controlling, but as the overall idea that I'm trying to get across is everyone has a brain, everyone has a soul, everyone has a capacity to make their own decisions, more so to different levels or to different extents, I would say. And for me to judge someone else, or to make comments, or to think something, or to just maybe be jealous or envious, or yes, those sort of things, is just a waste of time. Because at the end of the day, they may not even be real. Yeah, I know that's crazy talk, but I'm taking that into consideration. Maybe the real factor, if I'm with that mentality, thinking that they're not real, let's just suppose, I honestly 100% believe that means I'll continue to lead my life in a way that is authentic to me and what I want to pursue. I'm not affected by others. But in saying that, coming back to being a good person, doesn't mean I disregard their feelings, because despite them being real or not, how you treat others will be a reflection of yourself, how you feel about yourself. And I'm a true believer of your internal being mirrored back on the outside. So sometimes we might feel frustrated for any reason, I'm not sure, personal reasons. We're not happy with ourselves, for example, and that frustration leads to moments where we lose that insight, and we might not be able to control our frustration. We might take that out on someone or something. So essentially that frustration is impacting yourself, your mentality, your health, your emotional being, when in fact no one around you is important but yourself. That is sounding very selfish, but if the way I see it, the way I described it, if I think of it like that way, if I make myself happy, I make other people happy as well, because I'm more willing to help others. For example, if you are on fire, you can't help someone else. You have to help yourself first. You have to physically help yourself first before you go on to other people who need the help. So yes, the thing help others, 100% agree. Because not only is it a good act, but I don't base doing that because it is a good act. I do it because it is a good act, yes, but I want to as well. I believe the good vibes that you send out will come back in, vice versa. Good vibes inside will go outside. So I just have to realize that always need to project love and believe. So I like provoking my thought-provoking things, thinking about these sort of things, questioning myself, catching my thoughts, being superior than my ego. And I just think it's so special about knowing that you are greater than yourself. You're greater than who you think you are. And the reason I'm talking so slowly and thinking about everything as I go is because as I say these words, it's processing as well. I've always had these thoughts. Not always, but you know what I mean. It's interesting to verbalize it. And I've done many forms of self-reflection, if you can call it, or what not, if it's in written form, or if I've voice recorded myself, or made a blog, which falls under the category of writing, but stuff like that. But this I enjoy as well because I can see myself and I can record myself, I can re-watch it if I'd like. I have this knowing that in the future, if I do change my perceptions, that's another thing. Like, being a hypocrite is not always a bad thing. Being a hypocrite just tells you that you're evolving as a person. And I just think hypocrite has such a negative weight on it when it shouldn't. A hypocrite in its own right, yes. There are situations where it gets ugly, but the way that I'm thinking about being a hypocrite is very different. So I might be a hypocrite to whatever I'm saying now, but if I ever am, that would either show that I'm taking a step forward or a step back, or just a shift in thought, which I always think is very important in self-discovery and growth, to always think differently and not stay at the position that you are. Because no way, a couple of years ago, I'd be thinking the way I am thinking now. I guess I was always inquisitive, but it's just gone to another level. And I know for a fact that it doesn't stop here. The wisdom or whatever keeps growing, and then I'll be looking in the future, looking back and being like, wow, I was so naive to think that this was it. But because I am open-minded, I know that there's much to be learned. Exciting. And I want to see where things take me. Or doesn't take me. Oh yeah. So I'm just gonna end this video with a quote. So basically, I've made a jar filled with quotes online, basically very super easy to do. Bought this jar for like $4 and then printed some paper, cut it out, folded it, and these quotes were just from online. And what I love about this, I mean, you can have this on your phone if you like, where you get pop-up quotes, motivational quotes throughout the day. But I just like the fact that it's so physical, and like you can just open it up, just that experience of picking a random quote and that randomness that you get. So this is a gift that I'm giving to a family friend of mine for her birthday. So I've already given to my friends 1, 2, 3, 4. I gave one to my sister last night, hence I'm still in the house. Sleepover. 5. This one's gonna be 6. Another one 7. I've made myself 8. So I've already made 8, if not more. I just think it's fantastic. I love it. I don't know what they'll think of it, but I love quotes. I love motivation, and it's not just about quotes, it's what you do with it. But even for that brief few seconds that you're reading it, each day might give you different insights, and one day it might just, you know, give you that little push. But every aspect in your life has to be working, and you have to try to push yourself. And at times I struggle to do that. At times I lose my focus. At times I'm caught up in day-to-day activities, which are not even leading to anything. So you can be successful, productive in the day that you are in. Like today, I can be productive, I can be happy. I mean, I'm wearing new clothes, I feel good about myself, but I'm not actually doing anything that's aiding me in the long term. What if I keep this up, like looking after myself in this, that is helping, but in terms of doing things in the big picture, I need to reevaluate what I'm doing. So that's one of the things. And I've just got a book that I'm gonna read, so that's just gonna make me feel good, maybe gain some new things. And books are so amazing, because you can literally have no friends and your books can be friends. And the reason why I say that is because books are essentially written by people. So it's like given to you on a silver platter, someone's brain, like a little fraction of their brain, because it's their perception of the world, their advice, their experiences that they're writing. And even with music that you're hearing, I'm not going to assume you don't realize, but anyways, but it's the experience of love, hardship, heartbreak, and all that, adversity. It's someone else's experience that they are putting into their music, their art. And we as humans have common desires, experiences. That's why we're able to connect pretty well. And I just think if anyone was to make anything that they thought could work, or this idea, most probably would be successful. It's just about execution. But in the longevity, the success of it, there's a lot of factors that go into it. But I feel like everyone has an idea, input that other people would be interested in, because after all, they are human beings. Doesn't mean majority will, minority will. It just means that there will be an overlap, I think. And what I think is, the more that we're open to other people's views, perceptions, whether it's negative or positive, whether it's hurtful, encouraging, it just shows their thoughts. And we can make our own idea of it, even if we don't necessarily agree. I mean, I don't always talk about it, but I will now that I'm thinking about it. I'll read that in a little bit as an ending. I love these, at the top of my head, influential people in the platform media. Okay, so not in my personal life, I do of course, but specifically speaking in the media, I think Oprah Winfrey is the bomb. She's amazing. What she stands for, what she views, and just the way she talks, like not the way she talks, but what she talks. Like, she's just got so much insight in just about humanity, and I just think if she could see what others thought of her, she would be amazed. Maybe she doesn't realize that maybe to an extent, but she, in my eyes, is just thought-provoking. And the way she thinks about things, I analyze as well. She's one of a kind. Ellen DeGeneres is another person that I really admire. Watching her through the Ellen DeGeneres show, she's brought a lot of humor and just fun and excitement, but I know it doesn't stop there. That's just, to me in my eyes, what I see, the public side at the moment, but there's so much more depth in her. She's just a kind-hearted person. Now, I can't say it to be 100%. I don't know Oprah Winfrey or Ellen DeGeneres personally. I would absolutely love to in the future. But from what I perceive, and the fact that I perceive that and I find them as a role model is good enough for me, because regardless of who they are, I'm basing my judgments of them as what I have described it to be. So I'm following that that way. So it's already touched me and influenced me in a good way. So Ellen DeGeneres has a kind heart that I really admire about her. She's caring, as with Oprah. And my other teen fan growing up was, and still is Selena Gomez, only because of who she is. The way she carries herself is definitely what I see myself, or who I see myself in the future to be like. Not in every aspect, obviously, but the way she carries herself is such elegance and such poise, and how she just exudes confidence. And confidence sometimes is not as it appears. So I am well aware she exudes confidence, but inside her, I don't know. I'm not 100% as well. I can't be 100% about anything but myself. But once again, from the outside, I just love these three people, who they are. They're just so, every single one of them, kind, loving, thoughtful, and talented at what they do, and hardworking. So they didn't get where they wanted to be because they woke up like that. They had an interest, and their interest was something that they loved doing, I'm assuming, and they just pursued that, and they were on their path. They were so directed in what they wanted to do that they didn't let anyone else's opinions of them drag them down. And I just think the position that I am in now, I wish I could be so determined to be who I am without feeling guilty, without feeling obliged to answer to anybody. because at the end of the day, I'm not doing anything rebellious or anything bad. Everything that I'm saying, in my view, is good. That's subjective. Anyways, it's reached half an hour, so there's my mini monologue. Let's see the quote of, it's already 3. There are 2 types of people who would tell you that you cannot make a difference in the world. Those who are afraid to try, and those who are afraid you will succeed. And that is by Ray Goforth. I just think these quotes hold so much insight. So I'm just going to pop that back in here. Like I said, I am giving this to someone else. I wanted to read that, especially as I'm not at home at the moment for the night, for the day, and I didn't get to read one. I always try to pick one up in the morning as a good feeling thing. I also, yesterday while I was making this, I really enjoyed one of them by Tony. And yeah, so one of my other favorites is by Seneca about opportunities and luck, preparation. So luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. So I just think that's great, and I think that ties in so well with another quote by Henry Ford, which is along the lines, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. So they link well, and the one that I just had read out is also a good one. But I think everything links together, and all these quotes that have been said, made, done by individuals that just think outside the box. And I'm just going to throw mine in there. I know I always chuck it in videos, so probably repeat it 1,000 times, but this one's by me, so I'll leave it with this quote, and I hope you enjoy it. So, I may not be perfect in your eyes, but it's my eyes that see the world.